Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Unknown People by the Unknowns. Today we have Faith Nguyen in the studio. I know her from HEB, I know her from her art. She brought some of her items and she explains everything about her art journey. So thank you for tuning in, and with no further ado, here's Faith. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Unknown People. Today we have Faith in the studio. Thank you for coming. Thanks you for being a part of this, yeah.
Of course.
I know you through HEB.
Yeah.
Both grinding and hustling, trying to do our art. For everyone who doesn't know, Faith is a dope artist. She'll talk about that. But yeah, let's just jump right into it then. You have a couple things here on the table. Explain kind of what your items are.
So this is just a book I thrifted and I thought it was cool. So I brought it because I love to read. It all it's kind of connected because I started doing art and I brought just this paint and these paintbrushes. I haven't really used them in a while. I kind of just pet my cat with them now.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was 7, I saw my cousin drawing Sailor Moon, and I thought that was so cool. So literally, my art journey started with me just tracing her drawings, and I was 7, I think 6 maybe. And then I just kept doing that, and I also really like to read, so I would draw stuff that I would read, and then I started making up my own stories and drawing that. But I think what really helped me hone in on my craft and for it to become such an integral part of me is I was homeschooled for 5-ish, 6-ish years. So I would spend all my time just drawing every day constantly and making up my own worlds to live in. So,
yeah, that's really interesting. Do you draw and also write with it, or is it mostly drawings from the book readings that you do?
Well, a lot of my art is very personal because it's based off stories that I've had in the past. When I was in middle school, I would write a lot of stories. So most of my art is characters I'm trying to bring to life or circumstances, and it's all really personal. So a lot of what I draw is something that I can see myself in. So I kind of realized later on it's a form of escapism.
Yeah, so, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's I have a little bit of experience that with photography, just late night walks, doing some late night art type stuff. But other than that, I don't have too much escape with it. I think sometimes it brings a little more stress than that.
I feel it brought a lot of creativity and it was really, really I feel my creative mind was really, really strong when I was younger because I would spend most of my time drawing. But then as I got older and started going to public school, I feel that creative juice has kind of mellowed out, which is kind of sad because I've just got so much stimulus from other stuff in my life. So I haven't sat down and really created something new in a while. So
well, you're due. That just means you're due for a series and to create kind of something connected.
Yeah, just to mature what I already have. I feel is what I would be doing from here on out. Maybe maybe eventually create something new. But yeah, so I don't know, it's just weird. It's when I was younger, I would really, really, really put myself in my art. So part of me wishes to go live in the woods by myself for a couple years and get that back, but I don't know.
That might be. I think that Marvel, the MCU writers, Chase, who actually was a guest on this series, I think he mentioned that they literally go to the woods and they'll all kind of hold themselves up and write. So that might be something you do. I'm interested because I remember growing up knowing people that were artists. And back when I was younger, I thought artists was literally just people that drew or painted or sculpted things. Now that word kind of carries a little bit more weight, I think. But so when I hear oh, you draw and you paint, when you were growing up, were you the kid that was winning art shows and submitting stuff? You were the person that was winning everything?
Well, I wasn't winning everything because I didn't really enter anything, but I just know growing up kids would be oh, she's the one that draws. And I did a lot of art related roles for high school and my student body government doing the big posters and stuff. So it was who I was, you know, I'm that girl that like draws.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I
yeah.
understand that for sure. Do you want to join art shows? Do you want to end up putting your stuff up in exhibits and selling and potentially selling it?
Yeah, that would definitely be like an end goal. Like if I could make a living off of selling art and stuff. I didn't want to do art for like my degree in college though, so it kind of like set me back from like doing that for a couple years because I don't know, it just sounded like a lot of work to make a portfolio, and I think I also thought it wasn't possible back then to like make a living doing art. But then now I see with like Instagram and like a lot of contemporary artists like making a living doing like Patreon and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, it's like more possible
for sure.
now for like the everyday person, I guess. So yeah.
So I know you have 2 Instagrams.
Yeah.
Explain why there's 2.
Well, I have like my personal Instagram and then I have my art Instagram, mostly because I don't want to like spam my friends with like all my art. And I was like the past year, I've been trying to upload like more frequently to see if I could get likes from like strangers and like grow solely based on my art and not people who knew me. It's been really hard. Honestly, I haven't uploaded like all that often, so maybe that's why. Or like, I know if I like did fan art for like really trendy things, I would get a lot more exposure, but it's just my art, so like I just can't draw anything that I don't personally like really feel connected to, I guess. So
like you said, it's personal to you.
Yeah. I could do anime fan art. I could definitely do that.
Because you do some of the dopest stuff like ever that I've seen.
And
it's crazy because
I
remember not to like expose the HEB part. I don't know if you know,
I don't care.
I remember us talking, and you're like, "Yeah, I do art." And I'm like, "Oh, bet like there's somebody kind of like me, and vice versa, that's grinding and doing it." But for sure, like where do you see? Because I remember you mentioned something to me the other day about finding another job to kind of fund the art thing. What do you see? I guess like the next step, or what do you want that next step to be with your art?
Yeah, well, recently, this is only like a couple weeks ago. I mean, I started thinking about, I told you like web development and like coding. So I've just been taking like online like classes, like boot camps for it. So I'm hoping to finish the whole thing in like 6 months and start applying to like jobs.
So to fund it, right?
Like, like I still want to do art for sure, but I gotta start thinking about like the near future, you know, like getting a house in this like crazy market.
For sure.
And stuff like that.
I'll take this another direction. For people that are out there, maybe, I mean, and it's kind of part of me, I find it hard to want to update portfolio because I really have to believe in what I'm doing. Not that I don't enjoy the photos I post, but like this series is something different. Like I'm loving it. During like my editing sessions, I'm having fun. I'm smiling. Like I'm trying to see who I can send sneak peeks to kind of build the hype a little bit. I'm going down tomorrow and shooting some footage to kind of announce this whole thing. But what would you say to people that kind of, or artists right now that struggle to kind of do, just to do it? Because I feel like your work is consistent. Like you're drawing a lot. What would you say to those people?
Well, I've kind of realized that people like seeing even like the process, like not just like, well, at least for art, I'm not sure about photography, but like a lot of people who just post their sketches, like get a lot of like attention just for like sketches. So if you're trying to do art, like don't be afraid to like show stuff that you may not think is perfect, but like is part of the process, because people like seeing that too, I feel like, and it's really interesting to see someone like grow art-wise. And like, I don't know, if you're talking about like jumping into a career for art, like that can be a really big step and like really risky. Like even now it's still like really, really hard to get like a career like doing like video game stuff or like illustration or whatever. So yeah, I don't know.
Just do it, right? Like just do
like
it.
don't be afraid to like not be perfect, I guess is what you can take away from it. Like
that's a good point.
If you're still trying to like improve and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah.
I've asked a couple people this next question about stuff they really enjoy. and is a part of their life, and obviously like this is a part of your life, art. Was there ever a specific moment in your life where you finished either like a painting or a drawing and you're like, shit, dude, like I'm super pumped that I got into this, like I'm thankful?
Yeah.
Are there moments or one moment in specific? Because there's a couple moments in my career where I'm like almost just start crying because I'm like, oh, I'm just so thankful. That pop up in my head. Is there any moment like that for you?
I can't think of like one specific piece or like moment like right now, but I know it's definitely led me to think like even if I were to die, like at least I have this, you know, like, or like it's like a way of leaving my mark on the world. So it does give me that sense of like purpose. I feel like knowing that I've created something. I feel like every like artist or creative mind is a little narcissistic because there's like,
a little bit.
This is me and I'm better at this. I don't know. It's like, maybe that's not what it is exactly, but it's like you like showing off a part of yourself to like the world and you want to get like gratification from that.
Leaving your mark. No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of goes with that question.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like an overall aura of how you feel. That's really cool. That's awesome. I have a couple moments. You kind of carry it with you, which is dope.
That's cool.
We'll wrap it up with this last little bit, but for people that maybe don't draw or don't, I guess, currently support artists like you, how do people like me or people like this watching support like a local artist that maybe doesn't have paintings for sale, or what is it? Is it just sharing posts? Is it reaching out for commissioned art? Like, what would you, if this is your one moment where you're like, okay, this is how you can help somebody like me, what would it be so that the community can rally behind you?
Definitely just like following and liking like stuff. Like if someone's selling art that you don't exactly like don't feel bad for not buying it. Like something will eventually come along that you like and you want to invest money in, but like doing stuff that doesn't take money, just like likes and comments and sharing, like that really does help. Like whenever people like my stuff or like comment or share it, like it really does make me feel like people are seeing what I'm doing and it's not like just going into the void, I guess.
Exactly.
So yeah, just like small things like that. Yeah,
just support and show love, right? Faith, thanks for coming and explaining this. Your shoot's going to be really fun. People stick around for the for the photos later that are posted. It'll be some cool concept. Hopefully we smash it. But thanks for coming. I know it's kind of a big deal to have an artist, real artist in the studio for me. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Support Faith in her journey. You heard it from her. Share, like, show love. Reach out for pieces if you need something made. But thanks. Good job.
Thank you.
That's all it is.
Easy.